Coming up on today's wrestling news, the insane new name for a WWE act that's getting rebranded.
A main event WWE talent has just signed a new lengthy deal.
I'll tell you the latest on AJ Styles' future.
And we have unfortunate news on hopefully a minor-ish injury.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Michael Sidgwick.
And this is the news. So the Judgment Day are very much changed compared to how they were just a couple of weeks ago. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley basically gone, and now they're just a gaggle of bastards basically. Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Liv, Dom, Carlito, all the knobheads, basically. And according to WrestleVotes, they could be getting a new name. Yep. They are not going to be known as the Judgment Day anymore. WrestleVotes tweeting, plans are in motion to rebrand the new Judgment Day. Sources say the group's essence will stay the same, but a name change is likely. The leading candidate is an out-of-the-box yet bold idea. Street trash.
Street trash.
I mean, it is perfect for them.
I mean, they're laying it on a bit thick.
Yeah.
Potentially laying it on a bit thick. I think this is a dumb idea, if I'm being absolutely brutally honest. I love the wording of that.
Yeah.
Out of the box, yeah, bold idea.
Can I shock you? I like it.
It's a little bit PR-y, but that's another story for another day. This is very much... Look, WWE, not necessarily the most subtle of companies. They're not the most preeminent purveyors of subtext, shall we say. So I think street trash is, it's not great, let's face it. I saw the reaction online. I do try to be fair. I do try and gauge sort of the consensus. And I do follow some accounts, or several accounts, to try and just see what the consensus is and try and get a bit of balance on X, even though that's a fool's errand.
Yes.
It's not a place for balance at all. There are some WWE leaning accounts, if you like, and they were basically all saying something to the effect of, huh? I will say that it's almost smart if you look at the long view here. If they get rebranded, this sort of like subgroup of the heels within the heels, if you like, get rebranded as street trash. Street trash. Yeah, it's street trash, we're just being idiots.
Yeah.
Then you sort of preserve the name of the Judgment Day and you don't sort of have it associated with this sort of subgroup if it fails to take off or whatever. You're always leaving something for the reunion.
And yeah, it's the allusions obviously to Gunther calling Damian Priest Street Trash as part of their promos ahead of SummerSlam.
So isn't that the wrong group?
Well, I suppose that's what's left behind when Damian Priest leaves. You might as well call them Balor's Bellends, because I don't know a single person who's actually in support of this group who's going to be like, I'm not buying merch for those guys. Yeah. But I suppose that's kind of the perfect thing for it. Like
that'd be more of an AEW t-shirt, that.
Yeah.
One of those like unwearable AEW t-shirts, Balor's Bellends. Imagine walking around the city centre with that on.
They are playing the perfect role right now. Like, I loved the bit of Damian Priest just appearing behind Dom and Liv last night, and the constant, like, trying to get their hands on him and put them through tables and stuff. And obviously we've got the mixed tag, I think it is, set for Bash in Berlin.
Yeah. That should be daft fun.
Yeah, I think if anyone can make street trash work, it's Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. I mean,
I saw a great tweet that was like, Dominic Mysterio is the only person I've seen turn heel whilst already being a heel, which is so spot on. Yeah.
Absolutely. On the subject of heels, shortly, maybe imminently, a major WWE star per Fightful Select, who always come through with the scoops, has just re-signed a 5-year deal that will tie him to WWE until 2029, and that is Randy Orton, who last signed his deal in 2019, and if I'd not...
What a different time that was.
There's more leverage, there's more... if you're Randy Orton and you're 2019, he in fact did do the sort of Instagram teasing thing. Was he at the Jaguar Stadium or something, where there was like Tony Khan in the background of one of his selfies or whatever?
He had a picture with like an elite dressing room or something like that, yeah.
Some kind of illusion. Where I was like, is Randy going to AEW? And people ran with the story because that's what people do.
Yeah.
Indeed, where I was like, he was brought into the business. He mentored Cody Rhodes. He's done everything he possibly could in WWE. Who the hell knows? He didn't. He obviously re-signed with WWE, and now So basically, the gist is 5 more years of Randy Orton.
Okay.
And, if you get 5 more years of Randy Orton and he exists until 2029 in a similar spot, if he's not already there, that's the most longevity of any WWE career ever. He's looking at, he's approaching Undertaker numbers. He's genuinely approaching Undertaker numbers if he gets to 2029. Before I get your thoughts on this, because you're a big Orton guy, I think everyone's been really impressed with his sort of career renaissance over the past year, where he's sort of revealed more of his personality.
Yes.
I thought the Gunther match, show it was on his side, like his work and his selling was so refreshing in today's climate. So I'm all broadly in favour of the move. Before I get your thoughts on it, I think this is an interesting aside. In 2019, if you're like Randy Orton or another wrestler who's sort of nearing the end of your WWE deal, you've got such a better position, a leverage of, there's this hot new upstart, all the momentum's with them. I think I might entertain the idea of going over, no. Here's loads of money, here's loads of money, here's loads of money. How do you style that now? I still really often love AEW, right? Don't get it twisted, but the reality of business is, yes, they've got the money, but that's all they can really offer right now. You're going to half-empty buildings, the buzz isn't there anymore. How do you style that you're kind of pretending to be, especially if you're someone like Randy Orton, who's just a WWE lifer?
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting how those negotiations would go. It would be a test of your working credentials.
I wonder if, they as part of the deal for Orton, whether or not they've offered him some sort of more backstage role. Triple H is in charge now, like you say, he's got such a legacy within the industry, not intended for once. But I wonder if that's part of it.
I think he just wants loads of money.
He's probably getting paid out the years. Like you say,
much better schedule. I think he was on a great schedule last time around as well.
If you'd have told me, probably around 2019, you're getting 5
better
more years.
schedule than in years previous, not AEW. Just to clarify.
If you'd have told me 5 years ago you're getting 5 more years of Randy Orton, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Let's keep it brief dates, like you say. But I love the team up with Matt Riddle was really enjoyable, and that sort of opened the door to people who are like, it's all a bit patter, actually.
It's all banter.
Now, obviously, he's got a title match. One would presume he's probably going to get another title match, as you alluded to, down the road, because he's just going to switch heel and face Cody, which is going to be a huge feud for WWE. And then, probably pop up on NXT when they're fighting AEW in the ratings or something.
Why not,
But
why not?
But if you're thinking, okay, oh no, I've forgotten to get my tickets for the What Culture Live show. Don't worry, there's still time. whatculture.com/tickets.
Get to see some of this in the flesh.
You got to pay money. You got to pay through the nose for it, though. Yes, it goes down. God, a week on Sunday.
Jesus Christ, that's come around.
All In's also taking place that day, I should mention that. But before All In, is the What Culture Live show. We're going to have a big extended meet and greet afterwards, and then afterwards, we got ourselves a convoy and some beautiful sight. We're all going to walk over to Wembley because we're at Crystal Club, and it is mere minutes away from Wembley. And then, Sige, what are you doing?
This is the worst pitch I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
What are you doing after All In, mate?
I really want to go to bed.
Well, don't do that. What you should do is head back to Crystal Club. Is there another What Culture Live show? No, something even better. Sweet Chin Disco is going down. A huge indie night as part of all the All In celebrations. Max Caster's going to be there. Prince Nana's going to be there. I'm going to be hosting, mate. If that doesn't sell it for you. And tickets.
I need to see this in the flesh.
Tickets are.
Will you bomb? Who knows?
Probably. When's Max Caster getting here? If you want to get tickets for that, they are selling out incredibly quickly. They are limited right now. Just search for Sweet Chin Disco and join us a week on Sunday.
All right, Sean Connery.
I cannot wait. Right, let's bring you the latest on AJ Styles' future. We last saw him, he was wrestling in Noah, of course, in July, and he was part of their Japan tour. Then he disappeared. But according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, they sort of backed up their own reporting on PW Insider Elite. Styles is still slated to return to WWE storylines before Bash in Berlin, which of course goes down at the end of this month. Creative plans, because he was going to be, he's backstage at SmackDown last week. They decided basically it wasn't the right week to do it. Final decision being made on Wednesday or Thursday. But the plan is he will be back shortly. He obviously had that incredibly well-received match with Cody at Backlash. Intriguing to see what they do next with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the word is intriguing as well. That's not just boilerplate stuff. There are kind of parallels to Randy Orton here with AJ in that from 2020 to 2023 didn't really do a great deal of much at all. He had that sort of, let's face it, disastrous feud with Edge.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think the last thing before this year that I can remember that AJ Styles did that was worthy of the AJ Styles name was that absolutely incredible Intercontinental title final against Daniel Bryan all the way back in the Empty Performance Center in 2020. What an absolute hidden Pando gem that was. An incredible, incredible match. And then it felt like he was sort of... He's not been in the conversation for best in the world for quite some time. I don't think his character work was that good. Like, became a bit of a figure of fun with the Omos tag team and that New Day feud and all the rest of it. For whatever reason, maybe he's like that lack of motivation. He's realised, you know what, I want to be in that conversation again. And then he's obviously got himself in incredible shape. He's had that one of the loudest matches in wrestling history against Cody at Backlash France. Then he had that sort of nostalgic dream match against Marufuji that was incredibly well received. He just feels like he's just got this renewed level of motivation. I honestly wrote him off.
Yeah.
I wrote him off. I was correct to do so because the last 3 years he didn't do much. People can have a career renaissance.
Yes.
People, you know, so the reaction was, people said he was cooked. Kind of was. There is such a thing as a career renaissance. It happens in all sorts of entertainment mediums. But no, I think AJ Styles has had a really, really, really good year. And for the first time in quite a long time, I think people are earnestly interested in what he does next. What does he do next for you?
Oh, I don't know. They still keep flirting with the OC, don't they? And, you know, I don't know whether that's the right direction to go because it just feels very sort of tired and played out. And you've got a lot of stables, of course, right now. But... I'm enjoying him as a heel. I like seeing that. Like the fake out retirement stuff was all good as well. But obviously, I mean, maybe he goes after someone like LA Knight, because you're not going to do another world title feud for him. But yeah, he could be someone really useful to do a sort of mid-card feud with or whatever. But let us know your thoughts, what you'd like to see AJ Styles do in the comment section below.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this was sort of covered off last week in the Wrestling Observer newsletter explaining Dakota Kai's absence from WWE TV. I think Meltzer reported that it was a cover-up for a real injury. Michael Cole has explained on Raw last night that Dakota Kai is currently out of action with a torn meniscus looking at 8 to 10 weeks. So I don't want to ever make light of an injury. I mean, if I got a torn meniscus, I would not be in this office. I would be feeling very, very sorry for myself. I'm just talking about it on the scale of injuries. Some of the worst ones in wrestling are like all the way up here. Torn meniscus, obviously, I would be crying myself to sleep. But on the scale of wrestling injuries, mercifully, I don't think it's one of the most serious ones. Look at the time frame for her return. It's not too severe. It couldn't have come at a worse time for Dakota Kai because I think she got a lot of grassroots momentum. There was a social media campaign basically telling or asking WWE what you're doing. She's got a really, really strong fan base. So yeah, hopefully she can come back relatively soon and in good nick, good condition. I still think, given her previous on the Indies and earlier NXT and all the rest of it, I still don't think they've maximised her babyface appeal.
No.
I don't think they've even approached what she can do as a babyface. So I think that should be in the future, but what do you think?
Just she can't catch a break, can she? No. Like they do the big Damage Control comeback and then the Ministry of Starkness, as you dub them.
It's a better name. It's a better name than the new stable
It's far
name.
better. I'll save this for later on in the week to tell you about when we discuss SmackDown, but I've got a new name for the Alba Fire Isla Dawn group, but I'll remind you about that. But they had that backstage attack.
Davenport.
Yeah. They had the backstage attack, and I thought, oh no, why are they doing that? Like specifically targeting the knee as well. And then obviously this news comes out, just rubbish, because it felt like, if they were going to try and use that grassroots appeal, as you said, maybe this might be the time. Fingers crossed, if she can come back within 8 to 10 weeks, maybe they can still pick that one back up, because you know that the fan support is there, and she obviously had a history of knee and injuries. And we just wish her well in her recovery, because she's talked on streams and stuff about wanting to be given the ball and be allowed to run with it, and
that's the least they can do.
Yeah, I think she's got a real appeal and a real talent, and I just really hope that she just gets a sustained period of being able to work in ring, because once we just, let alone not being given the ball, just not being able to play must be so devastating when it's someone who quite clearly just loves to wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, get well soon to Dakota Kai. But let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll be back later on today with an after news as well. But for now, I want to check out this video right here. We'll see you soon.